What is going on, everybody? Welcome to our Texans 2025 free agency live stream reaction.
We here,
Um, yeah, we're here. My name's Noah Outlaw. I'm one of your hosts as always. And as always, I'm here with Garrett Harrelson. What's up, brother?
dude. What's going on, man? I love free agency. I love
Me
free
too.
agency.
It's my
I'm
favorite.
I'm like I love the movie Moneyball. I love the movie
Yeah.
Moneyball. Hey guys, a sports guy loves the movie Moneyball. A movie guy and a sports guy loves movie Moneyball.
Yeah.
I see a lot of Moneyballisms going on right now. I see a lot. We'll get it into it, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling pretty giddy.
You see some Moneyballisms with Casario?
Absolutely, bro. This
I don't.
offseason is drastically different than last offseason. I'll tell
Uh,
you. I'll tell you.
yes.
I think I mentioned what I wanted, like our offseason wish list. I said like I don't want a bunch of big splash play or big splash players, a big name stars. I want the guys that Let's get depth in here. Let's get guys that are going to be reliable. So far, we haven't made a bad move. We haven't made a bad move yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we've made a bad move. I wouldn't say that. I don't. I also, I'm not gonna lie. There's only been one. I think one move that I'm like that was incredible. I think that was. I don't. I
Well,
honestly
I mean,
most of the moves we've made so far in free agency, I kind of have been nothing moves
I
other
don't.
than Tunsil and obviously the CJ Gardner trade.
I think to me at least, they're not nothing moves, but it's kind of an implication of what we are going towards now.
Mm,
It's I think all these moves they didn't make us better for now at least. I mean, we don't have an O line. We don't have an O
yeah.
line right now,
No.
but we're kind of picking. We got Nick Cayley in there, and I think they're all putting their brains together and saying we need to overhaul a lot of shit.
Well,
Like
yeah.
a lot of stuff went bad last season. O line injuries, all that. We weren't the team we wanted to be. We need to get serious about this. And I see a lot of like Nick Cayley doing kind of a little Los Angeles Rams thing with us right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if yeah, I mean, we're bringing in so obviously, unless I mean, I guess if we're including the Christian Kirk trade, that's another move that I do think is obviously a big deal. It changes our team a lot, that I like a lot. Um, but obviously, let's get into this first. Let's talk
Yeah,
about this CJ Gardner Johnson trade.
that's.
Um,
I mean, clearly that you're talking about that being the incredible move, the one
yeah,
incredible move. How did we do
yeah.
that? Tell the people how we fucking did that.
I don't know because I really have no idea. The only thing that I guess makes some sort of sense is that Kenyon Green, obviously a guy the Texans fans we do not care for at all. The Texans don't care for him. He was benched multiple times last year. The only time he played was when Jarrett Patterson kept getting hurt, so we had no other option. Or
Yeah,
Jarrett Patterson went out with a concussion after coming in for like a drive and
yeah,
looking pretty good.
yeah,
Um, so Kenyon Green, uh, for lack of a better term, sucks, and it was
yeah,
terrible for the Texans. And so this is not a loss at all. The Texans are losing nothing. There was a chance Kenyon Green wasn't going to make this fucking team this year.
yeah.
So now we're trading him and a late round pick, a fifth rounder, 2026 fifth rounder, to the Eagles for CJ Gardner Johnson, who is not just a good safety, he's a great safety. He's a great player in the NFL. And we're doing a late round pick swap. That's it. So really, this is Kenyon Green for CJ Gardner Johnson.
Yeah, pretty much straight up. We traded a
Yes.
bad player for a good player. And
Yeah.
I don't know how Nick Casario did that. I don't know what fucking kind of voodoo magic he was working on the phone with the Eagles. I have no idea, but it does just make our defense that much better. It's crazy how this one move is just like, oh, our our secondary might be the best in the league now because of this
Yeah.
one move.
Oh, easily.
Love this move. This might be better than any move we made last offseason, honestly. I don't know how
Yeah.
we made this trade. And usually the Eagles are the ones that fleece people. We fleeced them.
Mm-hmm.
We fleeced Howie Roseman. Good
Yeah.
job, Nick. Big dick
Well,
Nick, dude.
and I guess look, I kind of see maybe the Eagles' perspective on this. They got a lot of young guys. They just first off, they just won a Super Bowl, so like they're in a good spot currently. Even if next season goes a little lower on the trajectory, like they still just want a ring, right? Also, CJ Gardner Johnson is going to want to get paid fairly soon, probably after next season. I could see the Eagles not wanting to do that. And also, look, Kenyon Green, lest we forget, is a first round pick, just a few years ago. So if there's one team in the league where Kenyon Green can go and revitalize his career, it's with Philadelphia. They have the best offensive line coach,
Yeah.
maybe ever, and definitely in the NFL. And he's just surrounded by a good group of guys, which is not the case here. He had Laramie Tunsil, who we'll get to in a minute, was not a leader. He was not a guy who was probably teaching Kenyon Green a lot. Like that just wasn't the type of player. It's not the type of player Laramie is. So Kenyon gets a change of scenery, goes to be with maybe one of the best offensive line coaches the NFL's ever seen. And I guess it makes sense for them. They can see what they can do. But right now, we destroyed them in this trade.
Yeah, I really don't know. I don't know their thinking with this. I kind of figured, when I saw this trade, I thought, okay, so he's probably going to be a free agent of this season. Like thinking about baseball MLB terms,
Yeah.
you want to trade away a guy before you have to sign him.
Is he a rental? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got 2 more years on his deal. I was like, oh, was he expensive? It's not very expensive at all. I was like, well, was he bad last year? No, he was actually great last year.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what the fuck happened. I don't know why this trade happened. I'm glad it did, though.
Yeah,
I don't know what the Eagles were thinking.
Well, yeah. So last year he had 6 picks. He was, according to PFF, third among safeties in coverage. He was third in interceptions, third in batted balls. Fifth in coverage. Just an amazing player.
Yeah.
And also a big part of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah. I mean,
winning the Super Bowl.
I mean, I have a Philly friend who was sending me videos of him at the parade, Super Bowl parade, like with a belt, walking around with a beer and a belt, just fucking
belt to ass, wearing
belt to ass,
Taylor Swift shirt saying "fuck Swifties"
I think dick. Like suck my nuts or something like that.
Yeah, look.
We need a minute. We need a bunch. Our defense is a bunch of crash outs. What's another crash out?
Right.
We need a bunch of crash outs running around.
I don't know if our defense currently has a crash out like him though. Like CJ, he brings juice, and I don't think it's to the point. I don't think he's crazy enough to where it's gonna negatively impact the team. No. But he is a freak.
Yeah,
and that's okay. Like I like that on the defensive side of the ball, especially in the secondary. Like that's the type of energy, the type of swarm kind of energy that I want, and it's a far cry from Jimmy Ward, Jimmy Ward's fate is looking very interesting right now.
I mean, Jimmy Ward is still going to be utilized. Obviously, Miko loves him, and when he does flash, sometimes he's a veteran, but he's also not. He's not very durable. He's been.
I don't think he's going to be on the team.
Oh, we did.
I know, but I think we're going to trade him.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I just don't.
If we were able to trade Jimmy Ward, and get more draft comp, that'd be crazy. I mean, we'd be officially cooking. But CJ immediately starts. CJ Gardner Johnson is a starter right next to Kalen Bullock. Kalen Bullock already posted on his Instagram story. He's excited about it. I mean, what a move. What a move by Nick. The best one of the offseason. I don't know how it gets better from here unless we just make like a home run draft happen, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about what this means for the draft coming up. I see people talking about it in the chat.
Yeah, right. All right. So let's talk about. Look, with CJ Gardner is an incredible move, and I think this. I don't say this lightly. I genuinely believe, especially because we just re-signed Mario Edwards to a 2-year deal.
Yes,
for $9.5 million. I genuinely believe the CJ Gardner Johnson trade makes the Houston Texans not one of, but the best defense in the NFL.
That would be a fair assumption, a very fair assessment to make.
I just don't know. I just don't understand. Teams could barely do shit on us last year, especially like the Lions when they were red hot. Come to Houston, We won't talk about the second half because it was just an all-time fumble. But this defense is just absolutely incredible. You watch the Dolphins game, that high-powered offense, whatever they had. Just this week in and week out, this defense would shut down teams, and it's just better now. It's just a lot better. So I love the trade. Let's talk about the Laramie Tunsil trade.
Yeah, that was quite the shocker. I was really shocked. Do I hate it? No, I don't hate it. But it is like there is a clear hole now at tackle.
Yeah.
That was the point. That was the point where everyone who does complain about this trade, I get it. We traded away a top 5 left tackle, but the whole O-line was bad last year. O-line was bad last year. You brought up leadership issues. I saw a tweet saying like his leadership wasn't an issue. I think maybe
I don't know. I just saw a clip. Seth Payne dropped a really small snippet from CJ Stroud's interview on the Pivot. Great podcast. Everyone, Ryan Clark's podcast. And it was CJ Stroud. I think it was before this past season, talking about Laramie Tunsil. And the quote from CJ was that he said LT is a true vet. And he was laughing, and he says, doesn't do anything extra at practice.
Yeah.
He's a true vet. That type shit is not okay.
There was also like, people talking about how he wouldn't go to some of the practices, the voluntary ones, he wouldn't show up. He's just, which, and I think mandatory, I mean, I don't know. I don't remember. I'm not going to say anything I don't know. But, and also, I mean, dude, the one thing that I still think about is him posting his cleats after the blowout in Christmas. Yeah. I mean, I was sitting there in disbelief, almost crashing out because we got so ass whooped. So we got our asses whooped, and he's posting his cleats for Beyonce. Yeah. That's the kind of shit I'm like, that's not my left tackle. Mm-hmm. That's not Dan Skipper wouldn't be doing that, who's a free agent, by the way. I like the overhaul. I like the path that we're taking. We're taking a stance. We're bringing in Nick Caley, and we're saying, no, dude, we need guys who are serious about this, not guys who post fit pics all the time and shit. Talented player, but just clearly wasn't fitting our agenda and our culture.
Yeah, I mean, the culture has just shifted from the time LT has been
Penalty
here.
Man is gone, JB.
2019, obviously we traded for Laramie, and it was a big trade of probably Bill O'Brien's second biggest trade behind the D-Hop trade, which was terrible. But so he's been here for a while, and it was just kind of he was a guy who were just like, I can't believe you're still here. Sometimes I would think that. I would just like, not in a bad way, but it was just like we've gone through so many different eras of Texans football since he arrived. I mean, he arrived 2019 when Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins were, running the team and gone through the Davis Mills era, and then he's been here for 2 years of CJ Stroud and D'Amico. Yeah. So it's just he's been here for a while. So one, I wasn't totally shocked, other than the immediate like, holy shit, okay, the Texans made a big trade. I wasn't totally shocked by it. Now the Texans send Laramie Tunsil and a 2025 4th-round pick to the Commanders, and the Commies send us back a 2025 3rd, 2025 7th, 2026 2nd, and a 2026 4th. That is a good damn haul.
Lot of picks, and we all know that Caserio can turn shit into diamonds when it comes to draft picks. So I mean, and also that's probably just going to be used as ammunition to trade up in this draft, in my opinion. I think we're going to be able to have to trade up. We're going to have to trade up to get a tackle. It's
I've been thinking about that.
Or there are people saying, streets are saying, we just move Titus to left tackle, have Blake Fisher at right tackle.
I think it's the opposite. I mean, Blake Fisher goes to left, Titus goes to right. I will say this. I think if I was a betting man, which I am,
you do that. You do that a lot. You should call the hotline because you do that so much.
I don't do that much.
We can talk about it right here. Everyone, what do you think about that? Addict?
Yeah, no. I'd be winning, and I would bet here. Listen, I actually think Blake Fisher starts at left tackle next season, and I think Titus Howard starts at right tackle, and I think we draft a guard. I think we draft a guard. We probably sign a guard. But I really think they like Blake Fisher, and I think they like Titus at his original position. And we've paid him so much goddamn money that they're like, you better be able to play right tackle. Go play your position. We'll be paid you for. So I don't know. In a perfect world, that's not the case. I hope I am wrong, but I really think that that's their plan right now.
Sure, if they roll into that season with that, that's an attempt.
Interesting.
That's definitely an interesting attempt right there. But I think if there is like a Kelvin Banks kind of like sliding a little bit, there's a really good first round tackle because they're pretty much can be taken top 20. If a guy slips into
they're
the
not
teens,
going to be available at 25.
Guy slips into the teens, like trade up, get him.
Yeah.
I mean, why not? But I don't know if that's their plan or not. I don't know what the plan is right now. All I know is the plan is to just completely, revamp the culture and revamp the offense. Defense is, it's funny. Defense is fine. They're like, dude, y'all are good. Y'all are a bunch of crash outs. Exactly what we want.
Yeah.
But this offense, and we'll talk about the other minute moves that we've made with the offense. Right. But this one was the biggest. Obviously, the cornerstone is gone. Our left tackle, top 5 left tackle is gone. What will they do? Dude, I don't know, but I mean,
we're sitting here right now with no true left tackle and no left guard. And
it's interesting.
Barely a center. I mean,
barely
a center.
We barely even have a right guard, dude.
Juice Scruggs is, he's Juice Scruggs. I don't know what this.
Everyone other than Laramie was pretty bad last year.
Yeah.
And even Laramie was like, I mean, as I'm saying this right now, he just had another false start. He had a lot of penalties. He just wasn't very good.
Right.
At time.
He got to the airport a little too early, and they flagged him 5 yards. Got him. No, so like it's going to be very, very, very interesting to see what Caserio does with the offensive line because, like Scott Robinson just said in the chat, there are a lot of quality guards in this draft, way more than tackles, and it's true. And that kind of is the same thing with free agency. Guards are kind of easy to find at the moment, especially even good guards. I mean, a lot have been paid really well. Like we look at Will Fries going to the Vikings. I wanted him too. Yeah.
I mean, that price tag was interesting. I mean, 88. No. Wow. And before you move on, I also see the lead Houston said LT never showed up to anything voluntary. Mandatory practice, he was always there, but sometimes late to those practices because of off-season rehab. And he put it in quotes. So he was at mandatory, but he would show up late, maybe not try very hard. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, sorry, continue.
No, but I'm just saying, like, a tackle is, and obviously, especially left tackle is one of the most, probably the second most important position in football.
Really important. It's really key.
It's extremely important. And we had no matter what we say about Laramie, with all his leadership issues, and yes, I understand what the lead said, it's true. He was a damn good. He was a good left tackle. You don't find many better than him. And we had one, and now we don't. So it's pretty simple. They're going to have to find that replacement. I don't know if it's Blake Fisher. I don't know if it's Kelvin out of Texas. I don't know if it's Josh Simmons. I don't know who it is.
I can confidently say the answer to tackle is not in the free agency pool right now. It's not in the free agency pool. It's either on our team right now or it's in the draft, unless we made some other trade and got someone. I don't see us making a trade for a tackle because who would be like they would jack the price up. They'd be like, oh, they don't have a tackle. We'd be desperate. I think we go for the draft. I think we get one in the draft, maybe in the late rounds. I don't know, or we do what you said and just roll them out with Fisher and Titus, which that's interesting.
I mean, it is interesting, and also, I didn't hate what I saw from Blake Fisher last year at all. I thought Blake Fisher was solid, especially for a rookie, and if we move him over to left tackle and in this new offense, if we can get him coached up, if Kaylee and the offensive line coach, his name is, I'm blanking on his name right now. He was the assistant last year.
Cole Popovich.
Cole Pop. If if they can figure it out, if they have an idea, they think he can manage, then let's see what he can do. Scott Robinson said, question, with Banks, do Texans and other teams see him as a tackle or guard? I think basically what it is teams would probably bring him in to be a guard at the moment. A lot of teams would, but I think the goal is to maybe kick him out to tackle at some time in the future, and him be like a tackle in the future. So, but he can come out and play tackle right now. I think that's what he would like to do.
And another thing with this Laramie thing, we joked about it all last year, like, oh, after this fall start, he's gonna want another contract extension and all that. He's gonna want another contract extension.
Well, exactly. That's the biggest reason for the move, I believe.
Probably after this season or in the middle of it, because he's gonna be a free, and he loves to negotiate early. He's his own agent.
Yeah.
He represents himself. That's really respectable. But he does it very early, and he gets his money. A man gets his money, and at this point, we're like, we need other guys to get that money. You know, Derek Stingley needs to get that money pretty soon. Like, honestly, in the next few weeks. So there's a reason. There is a strong reason why, or a few strong reasons why, and one of them is financial reasons.
Well, Derek Stingley is not going to get paid until after June 1st. So that's when Shaq Mason's contract will come off the books officially. So I think it'll be after that. But yes, you're right. I mean, it's going to be very soon. Stingley's going to get. I mean, you see the money these corners have been getting.
Dude,
J.C. Horn got.
He got a hundo.
Dude, Derek Stingley is about to get a fat ass bag, and then
he deserves it.
Yeah, I know he does, and I can't wait for them to give him that contract. And then, look, we just can't be paying Larrabee Tunsil because we have to pay Derek Stingley, and then here coming up pretty soon, maybe after next season, CJ Stroud is going to reset the quarterback market in a big way.
After this third season, 2025, we will be paying CJ.
Yeah.
And we are getting ready for that. It's coming,
Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to, and also because don't forget, the guy we drafted one pick behind him, Will Anderson, is also going to get fucking paid. So there's a lot of they got to be smart right now with the cap space because our cap space situation has not been great.
No, we kind of been spinning, and that's one of the reasons.
Spend it unwisely too. That's what sucks.
The thing is, like, we think about like what they got last year. We spent money on Stephon Diggs. The Stephon Diggs, I know injury and all that, ultimately became not a good move. Because it didn't move the needle for us. We had the same record, ended up in the same position in the playoffs. All that money we spent last year pretty much meant nothing. Because I know injuries and all that, and there's other factors, but we didn't improve. We actually got kind of worse. So they're looking at it like they're thinking outside the box now and saying, instead of spending the money, why don't we buy runs? We have to buy runs. Peter Brand, fucking Moneyball, dude.
Right.
That's why I said Moneyball earlier. Justin Watson is a Moneyball move.
Okay, is he?
Yes.
I don't know if Justin Watson is on this football team next year.
Same measurables as Cooper Kupp.
Congrats. We've seen him. We've seen what he can do. And on the Chiefs, if he was going to work anywhere, look, I'm interested, and I hope you're right. But I mean, I have higher hopes for fucking Braxton Berrios versus Justin Watson.
Hey, that's a Moneyball move too.
Okay. Do we just watch him? Okay. All right. Let me go through the list. Actually, all the moves. Braxton Berrios, 1 year, $2 million. Tremont Smith, former Texan, was here in 2021 and 2022. I believe 2 years, $7.5 million.
See you later, Chris Boyd.
Yeah, special teams replacement for Chris Boyd, and really a star on special teams in Denver.
And sorry to cut you off, but I love the emphasis on signing special teams players. We value special teams. Frank Ross is such a good special teams coordinator. We value it so much. I love it. It's very admirable. A lot of teams don't really care about special teams, or they do, but they fucking don't. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Darrell Taylor, defensive end, 1 year, $5 million. Whatever.
I've heard that's a good. I mean, I'm not familiar with this game, but I've heard it's a good signing from people.
Yeah, no, it's good depth. Derek Barnett has been brought back on the same contract, 1 year, $5 million. Like that. Love Derek. He's came up. Had two of the best plays of the Texans' entire season to his name. Sheldon Rankins is back after spending a little bit of time with the Bengals. Did not have a good year with the Bengals, but he's back now with D'Amico Ryans. 1 year, $7 million.
Love it.
Justin Watson, 1 year deal. Don't know what the money is on that. I don't know if it's even
I
been
don't know.
reported.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be
Probably like $2 million, if I
Yeah.
like something nothing. And then Mario Edwards, 2 year, $9.5 million. Kind of a breakout last year for the Texans. Happy to have him back. He's an exciting player, and he, just another year in this defense, should be good for him and should be good for everybody. The defensive line is we're set there.
Yeah, I was just about to say our defensive line is so nasty.
Yeah.
It's so nasty. I mean, you got monsters on the edge, and also up the middle, you have like a platoon of just dogs. Like our platoon defensive tackle. Remember when we wanted Eric Armstead? Are we fucking dumb? Are we stupid?
Well, actually, he could still he could get cut, and I wouldn't mind him picking him
Oh,
up.
sure, but when he got signed by the Jaguars, we were like, holy shit, we don't want to sign him to that.
No.
Instead, we kind of like just made it. We kind of equaled his production with Jacksonville with a bunch of guys that people don't really know about. So I loved our dog platoon defensive tackle unit.
Yeah. Also, I missed a name, Laken Tomlinson. That happened just a few hours ago. 1 year, $4.25 million. Look, not a lot about Laken Tomlinson excites me. I know he was a Pro Bowler. I understand that years back, but everything I've heard about his stint with the Jets was not good.
Yeah.
I saw a comment from, I think it was the Seahawks, also that he played for recently, and a Seahawks fan said that he couldn't block a parked car.
That's tough, but also, I mean, like our guys couldn't block ghosts. If they couldn't block, or they couldn't block like their own demons if they, it was crazy.
No, it was terrible. But so it's interesting. It's interesting depth. It's a good, just compete for a spot, but the move doesn't excite me in the least at all.
It's a depth move, and the only reason why I think we did it is because he was in San Francisco when D'Amico was there, and he probably just knows him. And also durability, because he's played 7 seasons in a row without missing a game. So
wow,
that he's like an Iron Man at guard. And I mean, if he comes in and we coach him up and he has a good camp, sure. Well, maybe who knows? I mean, he was a Pro Bowler. He was a Pro Bowler a few years ago. So who knows? But that's just a depth. That's a depth move, low risk, high reward kind of move. Moneyball. Before you move on, we got some Jerry in the chat. What's up, Jerry? We got to be careful.
Okay.
Can't do what the Bengals have been doing with signing players, or lack thereof. They don't do that. Yeah, we are going to sign our stars. That's why we're moving off of guys, and we're going to sign the guys that we need. Kush says Laken Tomlinson, not to be confused with LaDainian. That'd be great. Even LaDainian, if LT wanted to come out of retirement right now, I would take.
Oh my god! Yeah. What a 1-2 punch, Joe Mixon and LT.
50-year-old LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
The lead, Darrell Taylor, had 9.5 sacks 2 years ago and adds more crazy depth at the edge group. I agree.
I did not know he had 9.5 sacks 2 years ago.
I did read that. When I read that on Twitter, I read it as he's had 9.5 sacks in the last 2 seasons. Not 2 years ago, he had almost 10 sacks. That's actually, a good depth move. And Parker says, very happy with our signings and moves. I'm very happy with our moves as well.
Yeah,
there's not a single bad move in my opinion.
No, I don't think there's been a bad move at all. I think there's been like I said earlier, I think there's been a few great moves, and I think there's just been some. They might be Moneyball sign. I don't know. I don't think Casario's a Moneyball guy. I don't think he's a Moneyball guy.
Well, so far it looks like this year. I don't know if this is Casario's Moneyball love for Moneyball, because he loves Moneyball. He wears a vest with a visor sometimes. He thinks he's Billy Bean sometimes. Come on, I mean, everyone wants to be.
He might.
There's a one point in every man's life where they want to be Billy Bean from Moneyball. Yeah. I mean, not just in general. I mean, from Moneyball, but like maybe just Brad Pitt Moneyball then. But I mean, Nick's got the guns. He works out. He's got the vest. He's got the visor. But I'm also looking at it like Nick Caley. This honestly has Nick Caley written all over him. I think he's bringing in like new attitude to the locker room, and he's like, "What's this? Bunch of fit pick fucking prima donnas? Nope, get him out of here." Dalton Schultz, you're here to stay, I guess. But
Yeah.
I think
Dalton
it's Nick.
Schultz,
I think it's Nick Caley's influence as well.
I agree with that. I mean, we got some Watt boys in the wide receiver room now, so that's interesting. Some Watts.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird. Braxton Berrios and Justin Watson, and God forbid they just trade for Cooper Kupp. We got 3 Watts in there.
I don't think we're getting Kupp.
I don't think so.
I think because he hasn't been released yet. I think there's still kind of like holding out hope that some team will trade for him, but I really don't think any team's going to trade for that contract. You know,
No, they're not. Now he'll get signed. I mean,
Yeah.
he'll get picked up. I mean, of course. I mean, it's going to be a free for all.
Which I hope it's us. I hope it's us.
Yeah, no, we're not trade. I don't think anyone's going to trade unless Casario can pull off the 7th rounder to the Rams, thing that he likes to do. But I don't think anyone's going to trade for Cooper. But the second he gets released, I mean, yeah, no, Kupp's going to have a huge market. He's going to have a huge market. And I mean, honestly, if I had to guess right now, I think the Chiefs make the most sense for Cooper Kupp.
Okay. Well, you sucked the energy right out of the room, buddy. You sucked the energy
sorry.
right out of this whole stream, except by saying that.
And you know damn well, since he's on the Chiefs, he's somehow going to play 24 games without an injury.
I don't know because you think maybe like players will go to the Chiefs and become better. I think DeAndre Hopkins went to the Chiefs and became worse.
Yeah, he's like the only one though. Like honestly, he's the only player I could think of that did that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that was supposed to be a big move, and he was terrible.
He's bad. Terrible. He's also a free agent, so if we wanted,
I know, and I think he really wants. I would not be shocked at all if D Hop wants big money right now. I think he wants some not huge money, of course, but I think he wants like DeAndre Hopkins money, and he's not getting.
He's probably looking at Devontae Adams' new contract and was like,
"Oh yeah," he's like, "That's like me. That's like me. I'm like him."
Yeah, it's like no way.
Sir. Sit down.
It's like you saw what Devontae was doing last season. He was cold still.
Yeah, you dropped a wide open pass in the Super Bowl. The one pass Mahomes could get off. DeAndre Hopkins wide open, just bricked off the hands. It was terrible.
It was a clank.
I'd be interested to see where Hop shows up. I want him to retire, man. I hope he retires.
Maybe he'll come to the Texans on a veterans minimum. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So the wide receiver room is still bad, and I've been talking about wide receivers a lot this offseason. Because right now we have 2 weapons for CJ. Because Dalton Schultz is not a weapon. Christian Kirk is to be determined on what kind of weapon he is. Nico Collins is obviously Nico Collins. We know what we get with that. He's incredible. But now we're looking at the draft, and we've been, hoping to say maybe a receiver in the first, maybe hopefully a Mika. It's not looking like that's the case. You seemingly have to go offensive line in the first round of the draft.
100%.
So, what's the plan there? What do you want the Texans to do? Do you call up Stephon Diggs and say, "Hey, brother, let's run it back"?
No, because I think he wants too much money. I think the way we're spending money right now, we're not going to give Stephon coming off an ACL the money he wants. He'll get it somewhere. I'm sure he'll get it somewhere. Like, I don't know if it'll be with New England, Dallas. I don't know, but
yeah.
I think the plan, the clear plan, which I wanted this when we talked about our offseason wish list. We just need to focus on O-line first. Like getting like Matthew Golden the first would be sick. It'd be cool, but like also it doesn't help what we need right now. And what we need is stability, and we don't have stability with our offensive line, especially now after trading a bunch of guys. So and releasing Shaq Mason and shit. So yeah, it's clearly O-line in the first early rounds, definitely in the first round. And I can see us getting like a day 2 receiver. day 2 guy. I mean, bro, the receivers and tight ends are rich within this draft. Tons of options. I mean, you can get the guy from TCU in the second round. You can get the
Check
guy
back.
from Stanford.
Yeah, Alec.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
No,
options there.
Jaden Higgins. There's a lot of really good second round options.
Yeah.
So they probably have their eye on one of those guys. So at least a second rounder on a receiver though. If you don't sign another receiver in free agency, or you don't go after Cup, or you don't go after Diggs, you have to draft one of those guys.
And that's fine. Nico was a third rounder. You can find guys. I mean, like
Yeah.
Lad McConkey at 1,000 yards last year was a second rounder.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is like a clear like philosophy in the NFL that we can get really valuable receivers late in the draft. Puka Nacua was like a 6th round pick, dude. I mean, there's just
Amon-Ra was a 4th rounder.
Yeah, I mean,
but there's just still so few and far between. That's that's the worry. Like, I know we can say all these 4 or 5 guys that have done really well for themselves in the league that are not first rounders or even second rounders, but those guys are few and far between. So the guys got to cook. Caserio and Kaylee and D'Amico and the scouting department. I mean, they have to cook, and I believe they can. I believe it.
Sure. I mean, I think still like offensive line first. It's got to be. If we
I agree. I'm with you.
We get like some flashy offensive player with our first round pick, and then try to find tackles like Blake Fisher and shit in the rest of the draft, and like O-line's not good again. That was a clear mismanagement in the offseason. That was clearly like not the best move. So the safest move is just go O-line first round. If it has to be a guard, so be it. We have tackles. If it is a tackle, yay, nice. We have guys who can kick in and out, move all across the line. Get a tight end, get a receiver day 2, or you maybe move back in the first. I don't know. You can probably do that. If you get a guy who falls to you at 25, using that second rounder and like this year's second rounder, you could probably move back up in the late first. I mean,
yeah. Well, with all this compensation that Caserio has collected, I think he's got something up his sleeve. I think he's got something up his sleeve to make a draft move up back in the first, or maybe move up to get 2 second round picks or whatever it is. Something like that. We also have, I think we have 2 third round picks now. So that's nice. That's going to come in handy.
Very crucial. That's going to come in handy when we need like the tight end and the wide receiver, or maybe that's definitely going to be huge. I mean, we love our third round picks. So, I mean, so far, obviously there's moves to be made. Free agency hasn't even officially opened yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been pretty bonkers, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not what I expected so far. I like
look, this is my favorite time of the offseason. More than the draft, more than training camp. Well, training camp's not really, it doesn't really compare because that means it's about to start, the ball's about to start. But like free agency is just so much fun because the league just so much shit changes. That. Like the second noon yesterday hit, noon Eastern hit, it was just, we're going. Immediately guys started going crazy.
It was like Sam Darnold got paid. What? Now we have more moves coming in. Like as we're recording, like
Gino's a Raider, like
Joey Bosa's on the Niners.
Yeah.
So far, pretty crazy. And I know the Texans will be making more moves, and we'll be back later this week to kind of talk about those moves. But so far, pretty good. Keep going, guys. Good job, Nick.
Hey, keep it up, chumps. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Off the Grid Iron. Like Garrett said, we're gonna do another one later this week to close out the week. Who knows what moves are made between now and then. So we'll be here to talk about that, guys. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Lets us know that you like what we're doing. Follow us on Twitter at Apollo HOU and Apollo Texans to keep up with the Texans, of course, and also just Houston sports in general. A lot of baseball is about to start. A lot of good stuff down the pipeline. Rockets coming up too. Rockets coming towards the end of the season. Lots of stuff. So keep up with us there. And Garrett, give a shout out to our buddies.
Yeah, so we have a couple of buddies over here. We have our good friends at Big City Wings, Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. What's better than going to spend a patio day, drinking a beer, eating wings at Big City Wings? I can't think of a better time, honestly. And if you do go, maybe you can have a Bloody Mary, a Zing Zang Bloody Mary. And shout out to Zing Zang Bloody Mary mix. They come in all kinds of different variations. I see a blazing flavor over there. We have already pre-made in a bottle with vodka, bacon-infused flavors. So shout out to Zing Zang and shout out to Big City Wings for powering this episode of Off the
Yeah.
Radar.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And all right, guys. Well, thanks everyone who tuned into the chat. Look at that Zing Zang. Good Lord.
Yummy.
Sounds
I'm taking
good.
it home and I'm going to drink all of it at once.
Oh, man, that's a lot of sodium.
Zang responsibly.
Yeah, please. Don't do what he just said he was going to do.
I will not Zang responsibly. I'm going to get shit hammered. Hammered.
Okay. Just don't
what do you
drive.
want me to say? You want me to lie? I'm not going to lie in this podcast.
No, just don't drive. That's what we're asking. Don't drive off the Zang. That's really what Zanging responsibly is. Don't make that fucking face.
Like,
what are you doing? We're live on the internet. You're like, I think I'm gonna. No,
no, dude, I won't do that. Zang responsibly,
yes,
like I will.
Thank you. All right, guys. Well, we're out of here. See you later.
Watch Texans. See ya.